I'm good.
Okay.
I'm ready.
What's up, y'all? Thank you for tuning into the Nail Technician podcast, where I'm here making the best nail techs better nail techs. It is your host, Lo Holly, but not only am I your host, I'm your favorite nail tech here in Alaska. Whew, that was a lot. Well, today we don't know what the episode's going to be about, but...
So that was it?
Yes, that was it.
That was good. I'm impressed.
Well, usually
I don't listen to your podcast, so that was good.
Okay, well, usually I'd be like, is your favorite nail tech here in Alaska, Lo Holly? But I got a little nervous and out of breath, so I can say all that.
So it's about transparency.
What is?
Huh?
What's about transparency?
Just saying, just in general. You just said you messed up in front of all your people.
I mean, they be knowing I messed up. I tell them all the time that I messed up.
Yeah.
But we have a guest. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself because
I don't feel like I should have to introduce myself. I feel like you should introduce me.
Well, when people how do you want me to introduce you? Okay, you guys, this is. Well, I already told them. I already told Nail Technician that you were going to be on this podcast this week.
Oh, you told them that in the text message?
This morning.
In the text messages?
Should we let you in or not?
What'd they say?
They say yeah.
Oh, I appreciate it.
They say yeah. We should let you in.
What if they would have said no?
You wouldn't have been able to be a Nail Technician.
Okay.
A couple of them gave me some questions actually to ask you. But anyways,
hold on. I'm a member of Nail Technician.
Are you a nail tech or aspiring nail tech?
Yes.
You lie. Okay. But this is my man's Darian. He's
I'm dead. You don't gotta say what I am now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, introduce yourself. Go ahead.
I don't know how I would introduce myself.
Okay.
My name is Darian. I'm Holly's boyfriend.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty simple, so I feel like that covers the bases.
Well, okay, no. I feel like you're not giving yourself enough credit. You handle
no, I mean
the back
I
end
don't
stuff. You have to tell them what you do, nail wise. What do you do?
Oh, I don't do nails.
I know you don't do nails, but you handle.
Yeah. I help with the I help on the back end of stuff. So the stuff that nobody really sees is where I spend a little bit of time at in your business. But it's all you. So
yeah.
Yeah, you go hard,
bro.
Well,
I feel like a couple of them gave me some questions to ask you, but I feel like
I'm not prepared for questions.
We don't have a topic for this episode today, but because of this reason, I have 3 icebreaker questions.
Okay, cool. You came prepared.
A little bit, just this part.
Yeah.
So hopefully you came prepared for the rest of the parts.
We're gonna see.
Okay. If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be?
Oh, we're going deep, man.
These are just it's not nail related.
And normally in icebreakers, you're supposed to start off slow and then jump into the
Okay, we could do that one.
No, it's all good. I'll answer that though. If I could change one thing about how I was raised, what would I change? I wish I was around more family. I didn't grow up around all of my family, so I think that would probably be the one thing that I would change. I wish I grew up around more family members. So
that's a good one. Why?
Well, I feel like I don't. So my mom's German, and I don't speak German. But my mom's side.
You know how to say good morning.
Huh?
You know how to say good morning.
Yeah, I know how to say a couple words. But my whole mom's side of the family speaks fluent German, but I didn't get to really grow up around them, so I don't speak fluent German. So it's kind of like missing a piece of the culture that I am. Or
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to hear my answer?
I was like, I didn't know if these were icebreakers for me or for both of us. But yeah, what
would
your answer be?
If I could change anything about the way I was raised, it would have to be, I think, the way that we communicate and talk about stuff and being able to express stuff and
yeah,
stuff like that.
That makes sense. Yeah, knowing you, that makes sense.
Okay. Okay. We're moving on to the next one. Do you make decisions more with your head or your heart? would you say, in your opinion?
My heart, I think.
Okay.
Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
What do you think I make decisions with, my head or my heart?
That's hard because I think you're like an even balance of both. Like I feel like you kind of do both.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, you're like you're really you're probably an even balance of both. I think it just depends on like what it regards.
The scenario.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I have one more, and then yeah, I got one more. Okay, what is the biggest risk you've taken? If you had another chance, what would you do differently? About that risk, like that. Has
The
to do
biggest
with
risk that I have taken.
And like, what's going through your head? Like, what things? Like, what risks are you thinking about specifically?
That's a good question. I don't feel like I feel like I'm a risk taker, but I don't take risks though. I mean, the first thing that comes into my head is Turo.
I was just about to say the car.
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes into my head. Like, you want me to explain that?
Yeah, like what would you do differently? And I mean, you could explain it because I mean, it has to do with business, and like I'm sure some of these nail techs are interested in Turo. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, so I do Turo. Last July, June-ish. The thing was July, so it was when we came back from Miami from the Black Equity Con. I decided to kind of jump into Turo. So we went from 1 car to 5 cars pretty fast, and
literally within the span of like 2 months.
Yeah, within the span of 2 months. And I mean, I like the decision. I don't think that it was a bad decision, but there's consequences with certain risks that you take. So just from car payments and insurance, we pay somewhere around $3,000 a month on just car payments and insurance between the 5 cars. So, but I also I coach high school basketball. So during winter months is when I'm coaching high school basketball. So I didn't do anything that had to do with Turo during the winter. And so, I mean, you can kind of imagine that's $3,000 a month that we're putting towards vehicles.
Yeah.
That aren't being driven. So
what would you have done differently?
I would have just waited. I think timing probably would have been a little bit better.
Because we are in Alaska and we do have a winter month.
Yeah, we have a lot of winter months, yeah. And so, I mean, it's April and there's still snow on the ground right now. So I think for me, what I would have done is I would have waited until around this time right now to buy and start getting those vehicles versus the end of the summer. Because doing it at the end of the summer just didn't give a lot of time to put in the infrastructure in place to be able to run Turo efficiently. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we still made money off of it and everything like that. But just waiting, timing, I just would have had better timing with it. So yeah, I feel like that's one of the bigger risks that we've taken, I guess.
Yeah.
What's your answer?
The biggest risk that I took. I don't know. Like, I don't know. When I'm thinking just off top, I like maybe okay, well, like quitting the nail salon that I worked at, the first one that I worked at. And I think that was a risk because like I didn't know what was next. But I would have went about it different. Okay. Like, I don't know. I feel like I burned not bridges that no, they're probably bridges because I feel like burning bridges period is kind of bad, but I could have went about it differently than I did.
Yeah. Yeah, that situation was complicated though. Yeah. That wasn't just like it was a complicated situation.
We might talk about that later.
Yeah.
But let's jump in.
But I also would say that No, my bad. I
No,
would
you're
also
good.
would say though that you quitting. I feel like you quitting the hospital job was probably, in my opinion, that was a bigger risk than quitting the. Which one did you do first?
I quit the hospital.
First,
Yes.
for real?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
But that wasn't. I mean, I guess that was a risk. Yeah.
it was a risk, but yeah, I could see. I don't know why I felt like it was opposite. I felt like I thought you quit the hospital after you
How?
quit
Because
the
I
other
went
one.
full time at the salon, at the nail salon.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
But yeah, that was my icebreaker question.
No, those were good. Those are solid questions.
I don't know what should we talk about. What do you want to talk about? Business wise, nail wise, or you can ask me a question. I don't really do good with questions, but you ask me a question.
Yeah, you're pretty bad on like when we just go on the spot with questions. What?
Did you have a question? Because I could ask you a question that they asked me.
Yeah, go ahead. Ask me some of those questions.
It's not like a lot.
Okay.
But somebody asked. Let me see. Somebody asked me to ask you. You should ask. Okay. You should ask him questions about how it's like dating someone who has a job that's not 9 to 5 and how he thinks that affects us or you guys.
Oh, us, right? Like how it affects us.
Yeah.
Well, so I feel like this question is a little bit loaded because
Go ahead, load it on up.
No, I think for me, I was the entrepreneur before you. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Minded.
yeah. I mean, because I'm really not an entrepreneur at all. Anyways, I was more, yeah, in a way, but I was more
You did not give
entrepreneurial.
yourself enough credit.
Yeah, I was more entrepreneurial minded to start off with. You know what I'm saying? And she was more of the 9 to 5, work a job, whatever the case may be. So for me, I mean, when she dove into business, I was happy because I was like, yo, like it's just another way I felt like that we're able to connect. You know what I'm saying? Like, and do stuff together in a way. And it was harder, man. Like when I was going to meetings that you didn't want to go to.
And I wish I would have, like, looking back, I wish I would have went to them. But I do have a question before you keep going.
Yeah, go ahead.
At what point were you like, oh, she's doing this? Like, oh, she's like, it's a business, or oh, she's gonna do business.
I feel like I always knew that you were gonna end up doing business.
When I was working at the hospital, you knew that I was gonna do business.
I felt like I did. I mean, because I felt like you had a very unhealthy relationship with social media. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like you were super active. I mean, you used your social media and stuff a lot, but there was never really any intention or anything behind it. And then I was in such a space like where I was doing all this research and learning and all of that, and I felt like I was telling you like, yo, like if you spend as much time on social media, it's like what I tell the kids, like the kids at the school, like, yo, if you did something positive with your social media, like you gonna make $1 million one day. So I don't know. I felt like I always knew that entrepreneurship was gonna enter your life in some way at some point, but I didn't know it, like how. I didn't know it was gonna be nails. You know what I'm saying? And then I think when I realized like you were gonna do it and it was happening was when you quit the job when you quit the hospital job and went to
The first nail salon.
the first nail salon. Yeah, because when you did that, I was like, oh, it's a dub, bro. What's up? You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, yeah, we finna run the bag up.
Because I quit that, it didn't necessarily mean that I was gonna do my own business.
It did. No, I did for sure. Because like for me, I wasn't finna let you sit there.
I wasn't thinking that.
I know you weren't, but I was, because like my
We've
motto.
also been together for
8 years.
Yeah.
So
they're probably like, your whole life. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no. Yeah. So like for me, it was like, I just knew, like, I was like, yo, like, there's no way I'm finna let her keep making this bag for these people, bro. And it wasn't like, not saying that the people he was making the bag for was bad, like, you know what I'm saying, very knowledgeable and all that. It was just a thing of like, you had a skill, and like I felt like my passion was in business, so it was just like, yo, like, let's run the bag up.
But I didn't like. I wasn't even good working there. I think I knew that I was going to do business like when probably okay, not when I was doing it out the room, not when I was doing it out the living room, but when I moved into the second bedroom. I think that's when I was like, "Oh yeah. No, this is it."
I mean, like, I felt like when you was doing it out the crib, like that, yo, we was up, cause I mean, my thing is, doing it out the crib is a business. It's just not flashy and as pretty as what it looks like now. You know what I'm saying? But like, putting in crazy hours at the house, that alone, that was the start. I mean, and so when I think about it, I'm like, okay, when you were in the nail salon, it I didn't know when, I didn't know how, but I'm just like, yo, like, and keep in mind, like, it wasn't just you know what I'm saying? It was James and Amia. They were also
His siblings.
Yeah, my siblings was also in the nail salon. So I'm like, okay, like, yo, like, because I think one of the hardest things about entrepreneurship for me has been, I don't have a specific skill. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not crazy talented at one thing. So it was just like, it's always been hard for me to find my space. But I feel like I'm knowledgeable in the space, and like, I can make things happen. So for me, I'm like, I'm looking at y'all. I'm like, yo, okay, bet, like, they can do nails. All right, yeah, we're gonna run the bag up. I just didn't know what it was gonna look like.
Yeah.
And so,
which is crazy because that was like, how many years ago?
It was a minute ago. I was like, I don't even know, honestly. That was before 2020.
5 years ago? 4 years
probably
ago?
like 4 or 5 years ago, yeah. Yeah, and so, like, I mean, even now, like, I look at it and I'm like, because now we're entering into a different space of entrepreneurship. You know, like, you've been an entrepreneur, but now it's growing, and I'm just like, there's still like so many different heights, you know, so much space to reach.
Yeah.
But you gonna let me finish answering the first question?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I already forgot what the question was. I just know I didn't answer it. What was the question?
What's it like dating someone that doesn't have a 9 to 5, and how does that affect us?
Yeah, I mean, so it's actually funny because I coach high school girls basketball, and I also coach like middle school. I got a middle school girls basketball team, and so a lot of my time is spent away from the house, anyways. So I actually think it evens itself out. So because she's an entrepreneur and she's in her space doing her thing, running her business, I'm also doing what I do on the other side of things. And it doesn't necessarily change anything because you're not home, boom, and then I'm not home. So it's just like, you know, now, like, on the weekends we spend majority of our time together, outside of like basketball season, you know what I'm saying? Because Saturdays are crazy for basketball season and stuff. But I mean, technically, when you think about it, we really only have Sundays together, like, because you're off on Sundays. Now, on the flip side of things, because I work in a high school, I'm also off in the summertime. So a lot of our summers spent together as well. Even though, and so like summertime is probably when like when there's like the biggest gap of me being at home and you being at work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I mean, like I said, I be so busy. It's not, you know, I don't typically just spend my days sitting there doing nothing. So it's I make up for it. I feel like, in terms of, there's not a lot of gap time. But I also think about it like, yo, like, Buster, I don't know, can I cuss on this? Do you not cuss?
I don't know if I cuss. I don't cuss a lot, if anything.
Okay, well, like, my thing is like, bust your ass now so we can live great later. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather work hard for the next 5-10 years and then, you know, when I'm 35, be able to really like just enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, it's not that difficult, if I'm being real. I mean, we tried to do stuff. I mean, you know, we try to go out to eat eat every Sunday together. I mean, when I get home, typically, like I would say, when do I get home normally?
Probably like 9, 10.
Yeah, so I get home like 9, 10 o'clock at night. Usually out the house anywhere from 6:30 to 7. So,
Yeah.
um, and I get home 9, 10 o'clock at night. But then I don't work after that. You know what I'm saying? Like when I get home, it's like it's us time. So, um, I mean, which probably don't last that long because we be going to sleep and stuff like that. We be tired, but I mean, it's just kind of. I think we're used to it, you know. And then every now, like different times we take time off and whatnot. Holidays, I feel like we get to spend a lot of time together because I'm off on holidays, and you make your own schedule, so you take time off. Um, Past couple of years, every summer we've traveled, so yeah. I mean, we work, man, we work, but the idea of it is to work so that we can, do other stuff as we move forward. You know, I mean, how do you answer that question?
Um. Um. Okay. Well, how it affects us is
Yeah.
I don't know. I could agree with like everything you said. I feel like we're used to it. I feel like it everything kind of balances itself out.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that we wouldn't like to spend more time together, bro. So I don't be trying to come at me bashing me, all right?
I'm
Like
crying.
all I'm saying is like we make it work, and the idea is that in the future, like we get to do a lot more, spend a lot more time together. So yeah.
And I feel like that's what we're building is like something so that we're not having to work these crazy hours.
Yeah. I mean, if we don't get to see each other that much until we 35, but then when we 35 to 70, we with each other all the time. I mean, I think that's the W. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the win. But if we have to work until we're 65 all the time, you know what I'm saying, to retire and go have to get another job because my retirement ain't gonna pay for my
I'm
stuff.
crying.
I don't know. So yeah, I think I said it is hard sometimes, man, and I think there's arguments that come up because like I get home and I go to sleep or I'm tired or
Yeah,
like
he been going to sleep in 3 seconds. I'm like, bro.
yeah, you know what I'm saying, and so I think there are little things like that. It's not all sweet, like we still deal with all the normal relationship stuff and etc. But I think at the end of the day, it's just about having a vision and knowing what you want out of life and knowing what we're trying to build, and then being able to end every day on like, well, we don't even end every day like that because yeah, you be wilding, but
Okay.
yeah, just being able to at the end of the day, just be able to be on the same page about stuff, even in those moments of like things are hard. It is hard being with an entrepreneur though, but it's a lot easier when you both are entrepreneurs, in my opinion. But we're also not like we're not super big entrepreneurs either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we cool. Like I mean, you're cool. Like I still got a lot of room, like a lot of ways to go, and so I mean, I don't know if that changes. You know what I'm saying? When we grow even bigger and making more bread and doing more stuff and projects and all of that type of stuff. So yeah.
Okay.
All right, man. So do you have another question for me?
No.
Or that was the only question?
There's a couple more, but we'll move on.
All right. Yeah, so we just kind of winging this thing, man. I don't know this is gonna be about, but so I was thinking about I was well, so I was thinking about like when you were first starting with nails, did you think it was gonna not even when you were first starting, like I say like when you were in the house, you know what I'm saying, when you were starting in the house, like what did you think this was gonna be like, and has it grown to something that you didn't think it was gonna become?
Uh, what did I think it was gonna be? I really did not know. Like I knew I loved doing it, and because I'm like a creative person and I like art and stuff. but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was going to be. I knew eventually I wanted to either work in another salon or like get my own little suite. And that's like as far as I thought.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. What was your other question? What was the other part of that question?
No, that was the question. I think I just said it in like a couple different ways on accident, but so like so as when did you start realizing it was kind of gonna go, like you were gaining a lot of traction? Like, what do you think was your pivotal point of like, oh damn, like this could be something, different?
I think when my TikTok isn't doing that well right now because I've been slacking on TikTok, but I think when I posted that first video on TikTok and it started getting numbers, I was like, oh, I could do this. Like,
yeah,
like as far as like taking more control over like the social media part, because that grew a lot.
Yeah.
And then it also like the TikTok people went to Instagram, but my Instagram doesn't grow as fast as my TikTok did. But when I started getting clients from Anchorage, like DMing me on Instagram, like, oh, how do I set up an appointment? And like, oh, I need to tell my friends and all that stuff. Like when I actually had like a clientele base, like regulars, I guess.
Yeah. No, it was crazy. I mean, I felt like I always knew that it was gonna be. I don't want to say I felt like I always knew, but like when the TikTok stuff started blowing up, I was like, yo, like okay, yeah, this is about to be different, because I think some of the things that like started, some of the pivotal points for me was when like we be in the stores or something like that and people start coming up to you.
I'd be looking so raggedy.
Yo, and I'd be like, yo, like you famous for real, like. That's crazy. Like, we can't even be in the store no more. Like, I mean, we still be going to the store.
I'm crying.
She ain't that famous.
It'll be like a person, like
it'd be
once
like every now
month.
and then. Yeah, it'd be like every now and then, like we somewhere and like somebody come up and be like, hey, I saw you on TikTok or Instagram. And
but I'm so awkward.
Yeah, you're mad awkward, bro.
And like, but I want to not be. Like, I want to be more comfortable when people like come to me and they're like, oh my God. Like, it's you. Because I'm literally, I'm nobody, to be honest. Like,
I mean, you somebody.
No, I'm not. Like, I'm the same as them.
Yeah,
like,
no,
I don't know why I feel so awkward in those situations. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and it's dope though. Like, it's dope because like we watch all these people, and you know, I don't think the idea of entrepreneurship for me at least has ever been like, I want, you know, to be famous or I want to be well known, or it's never been any of that. Like,
I want to impact someone.
Yo, like I want to impact and to be like, to keep it up. I want to get to the bag, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like,
and help other people get to the bag, because
yeah, I mean, because it's yeah, I mean that I think that's what it's about, right? Like,
well, that's why I started Nail Technician.
Yeah,
I mean, aside from building the community. From when we went to Miami, and they talked a lot about community, and I was like, oh dang, I need to start a community, 1 to help other people, and 2 to get the bag.
I mean and it's funny because like I have some conversations with some of my people at work, and we be talking about like, yo, like, you know, what is, you know, how is money happiness, is money this, is money that, and like as an entrepreneur, you know, everybody's just in that rat, or, you know, is it another rat race of like, yo, okay, boom, I want 6 figures, boom, I want 7, I want this, I want that. And I don't know why I can never relate to that conversation, because like for me, I mean, entrepreneur, it's not about the money, it's about the impact and the lifestyle that the money will bring.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like, and it's not even like about like, yo, like I'm trying to get this money and go buy X, Y, and Z. Like my thing is just like security, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like I like nice things also, right? Like, but it's just about, for me, like, yo, when we have a family and, you know, taking care of our family, and, you know, I just want to be able to do that like in a space where I don't necessarily have to worry about money, you know, and entrepreneurship is that. And like, I just think it's dope, man. It's like, yo, you can build something. I felt like growing up, we didn't get to see a lot of rich people. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, I can tell you one rich person,
that,
when
like, you knew personally.
yeah, like, or not even rich, like wealthy, or, like had these, 6-7 figure conversations and stuff like that. And I just think that, that space is such a dope space. And I mean, even working at this school, man, it's like you get to see so many kids that just, they don't even know they don't even know all the possibilities in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't even know, like, yo, you could go do digital marketing. You could go do, you could go do Airbnb, Turo, real estate. Like, there's all these different spaces that you can go to, especially if like college isn't something that they want to go do. And like, yeah, I mean, entrepreneurship is just a dope space, I feel like. But yeah, no, that's it. And it's interesting to think about the fact that, like, when you started, you literally weren't even, like, you didn't really even care about entrepreneurship, bro. Like, I remember we used to have conversations, and I used to be like, yo, like, why are you not thinking like this? Like,
Yeah.
like, but then, like, it just all kind of started to click over time, I felt like. But I also think that's the power of being in the room too. You know what I'm saying? Like, because although you didn't care about it, you were in a lot of rooms where entrepreneurship was like constantly being talked about over and over and over and over again.
But honestly, I wasn't hearing nothing. Like, I think it all started to click when I started doing it.
Yeah.
Like, cause I learned by, like, hands on. Like,
yeah.
Cause you guys were, like, listening to a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, yeah, y'all talked about it.
We wasn't getting no bread. Well, we were that's funny. We were some broke boys up in the crib.
I'm crying.
No, we used to, that's wild. That's wild. Yeah, we was, I don't know, but I think that for me though, like, that has been, I mean, I think that's something that's like crippled me. It's like taking action, and I don't know why I'm that type of person, but like, I like to know about what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to
be like perfect.
Yeah,
that's your problem.
Yeah.
I'm not like that at all. I don't care how ugly or how like, I will just put it out.
But that's worked to your advantage. You know what I'm saying? And so for Nail Tech Nation, that's like a super good lesson. Now, I mean, I'm sure you've probably talked about it before, but like, yo, sometimes you just got to do it ugly. You know what I'm saying? Like, like when it don't look right, you know what I'm saying? Like, posting the content when, like, for me, like, content posting, it's funny because I could tell people exactly what to do.
Yeah.
But I struggle to do it myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, that's been like an interesting space for me, is trying to figure out like how can I be more consistent, you know what I'm saying, in like my space. And figuring out what my space is, you know what I'm saying? Like what my niche is and exactly what I'm doing. But it is, it's doing just doing it, and consistency and staying consistent in something. Like,
consistency is key,
bro. What? Consistent? Yo, you can hit 6 figures off of just being consistent, man.
Yeah.
Like, especially like in this beauty space. Like, if you, like, for me, I feel
nails,
like
we're talking nails.
Oh, this is only nails. Okay. Well,
Like Nation, come on now.
All right, my bad. Well, but just in general though, like, this is just in general. Like, I 100% feel like though, like, I can help, and I know like you can obviously, but I'm saying, like, even with me not being a nail tech, like, I can help any beauty person in the beauty space, like, hit 6 figures. Yeah. Because it was like, I felt like for you, like, it was just a few different things that we had to adjust in, like, systems and what we were doing in order to hit that, and you hit it organically. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's also important that you, and which I have not done, and we need to do, that you like revisit those systems. Like, okay, we're slacking here.
Yeah,
we need to pick this up. Oh, we're not doing this. We need to do this.
Yeah, and revisiting the systems is always important, because like, in the entrepreneurship space, everything changes. You know what I'm saying? Algorithms change. you know, your audience can change. Like there's a lot of different things that can change.
And when we talk about systems, what are we talking about?
Like for me, like when I'm saying systems, I'm talking about like how often are you posting? You know what I'm saying? What type of content are you posting? Even like
how you respond to people.
I was just about to say like how you're responding to, you know, like your customer service aspect, your scheduling, your booking, your cancellation
services,
policy, your services, your pricing, like all of it is encompassed in like the space of in the space of systems. Because at the end of the day, I think the idea is, and again, there's a lot of things that even in your business that we have to do better.
A lot of stuff.
There's a lot of things. Look at you being unprofessional. Yeah. Who called you?
Jayla.
You see, Jayla messing up the podcast.
That's my sister.
See, but do it ugly, man. We're not cutting that out. That's staying in there. But yeah, I mean, I just think like the system spaces. At the end of the day, when I think about like what we're doing, right, I think about the fact that like everything is consistently going to change, and as things evolve, we have to evolve. I think about, let me give an example that probably nobody in Nail Technician cares about, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
We care about everything.
No, you don't. Y'all don't care about this. So I'll give you an example.
Wait, does it have to do with nails?
No, it has to do with basketball.
Okay, no, we don't
care. So in the basketball,
why are you doing this?
Listen, in the basketball space, right? So in the basketball space, a rule just came into effect that Division One kids can, like, they used to only be able to go on 5 official visits, which is when like the schools pay for you to go to fly out there, right? And
that's why he can't
they pay for your hotel. Listen. Now they just changed that rule that instead of going on 5 official visits, you can go on as many official visits as you want.
Okay.
And it's like it's a game changer in the basketball space, but as coaches and people who are in like leadership positions, if you just complain about it and you don't adjust, like you're crippled by that change. You know what I'm saying? Like you're crippled by the fact that you're frustrated at what's going on.
Because you can't change it.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's the rule is the rule. Yeah. Like you have to figure out how to adjust. You know what I'm saying? And once you adjust and you utilize the rule, I mean, and you figure out how can I use this to my advantage, right? You know, things start to move efficiently. So like I just think about that in entrepreneurship, right? And doing nails, like, yo, like, I mean, the one thing when you talked about when we always talk about trends, right? Like, yo, if you're not paying attention to the trends, like you're gonna get left in the sauce. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna get left behind. And I feel like that.
And I tell them that all the time.
Yo,
like you need to stay on top of trends.
I feel like the trends is crazy. Like, and I mean, because trends alone will make you go viral. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're following the trends and you do something well, like that alone could be the change that, you know, the game changing moment for you. So yeah, I don't know. Random rant, but yo, like systems changing with the times, man. Staying up on trends, like all of those are little gems that, like, if you take that away, or if you take that and go implement it into your own businesses, is gonna change the game for you. You know what I'm saying? So
for sure.
Yeah, and what is, so like in the space that you're currently in right now, like what do you think is your biggest hurdle right now, like in this industry as we speak?
My biggest hurdle? Yeah. Explain that more.
Like what are you struggling with? Like what are you struggling with in this space right now?
Now, why didn't you just say that?
I mean, that's what I felt like I said. My bad.
Okay, what am I honestly right now? I feel like I am struggling with not. Okay, well, one, and I told Nail Technician this I think last week. I think I'm pulling creativity and inspiration from like other nail techs, and I'm trying not to do that as much. Like I need to focus on what my specific art is, and stop trying to like do whatever other people are doing. I also think that I'm struggling with consistency right now. Like I'm doing really good with being consistent with the podcast because I mean it's once a week. But I think I don't know, just getting back. So, I mean, my dad passed in February, but I feel like since then I haven't been like I was doing so good before, and then it's just like after that I took that like super long break, and it's just been like hard to get back in the groove of things, I guess, or like I don't know, because I tried to create a schedule and I was doing good for like I don't know, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I need to figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, I think business is like
Seasons.
yeah. It's business is a game of runs, man.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna punch hard and then you're gonna get punched hard back. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
it's also been like slow months for me right now.
Yeah.
And that's like, I mean, that's anybody in like the beauty industry. Usually we have the same slow months, but I don't know, it can mess with your head when you're seeing these numbers and you're so used to seeing it green and now you're seeing red. It's like,
you in the red? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, right now, no.
No, I'm just kidding.
But
last month. I know you're not in the red.
And the month before that.
What is red? What do you categorize as red for you?
Red is
like if you're not hitting your goal?
Not making more than I did like the year prior.
Okay. That's a good way to
that month.
Yeah, that month. So like March 2023 you made less than you did in March 2022.
Yeah, that's red for me.
Yeah. Do you take into account like the stuff that like do you take into account like, for like you were gone like a minute in March though, in Hawaii. So like do you take that stuff into account when you look at your numbers, or do you still?
Yes, but no, because I'm like I could have tried to do a webinar. I could have tried to I don't know. I could have tried to do something.
Yeah.
Sell more like card grabbers or something. I could have did something.
The card grabbers actually be selling though.
Yeah, they do be selling.
That's crazy.
And I told them that.
I ain't gonna listen, yo. Like when she told me about these card grabbers, I could not understand to save my life. Like I knew we needed to start selling some products, but I didn't know what that product was. Told me what a card grabber was. That joint is crazy. I don't even. Yeah. More power to y'all though. I get it though, because y'all have them long nails.
Cuticle oil sells really good. So if you can get into cuticle oil, I told y'all before, get into cuticle oil, selling cuticle oil.
What about powders?
I haven't done that, so I can't speak on that.
I don't know. I think powders is I feel like that's a lucrative space. So
I think gel polish is a lucrative space, which is what I want.
Is more than acrylic powders?
Well, I don't do colored acrylic powders anymore.
Oh. Okay.
I didn't know that.
No.
Oh, come on! What are you doing?
Listen, this is why I do the back end, guys. Like I don't.
But that's another good topic, and I don't know how long.
What's a good topic?
You want to be here, like knowing your space.
Yeah, that is a good topic. It's like
I don't know if you want to get into that now because it's been like 40 minutes. Usually my podcast episodes are like 20.
I know you're giving them some real love today. This is dope. No, I mean go ahead. Knowing your space.
Okay, knowing your space, and then that'll be like our last little thing, and then we can wrap it up.
What if I'm not done talking?
Okay, then you could be on maybe the next one.
Okay, go ahead.
Or maybe they'll get 2 episodes a week, like one with you and one without you.
Okay.
If they like you.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'm with it.
But knowing your space, so I don't do colored acrylic powders anymore. I just do like nude or clear. Mm-hmm. And then for the powder, that'll be their base. Or like a light pink. And then I'll hand paint. And hand painting is my space.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'll hand paint with the gel polish colors.
Okay.
So like after I open a salon and after I teach and do all that stuff, I do want to open or make my own like gel polish line. Yeah.
So what made you make that switch from like stopping the colored acrylic powders? Like what made you what was the thing that made you say, okay, like this isn't my space no more?
So, and I don't want to say this to like, if you do colored acrylic I don't want to like steer you away from it, but like it's all about knowing your space. One, it was so much work when I had to do a fill, like trying to take off all the color and like it just took up too much time when I could be doing like a whole nother set in that time frame.
Yeah.
That and some like I would buy a whole bunch of colors and sometimes the colors would not get used, so they're just sitting there collecting dust. And I just wasn't feeling like I found that I'm really good at hand painting. Yeah. And that's what a lot of my clients would come in and get. And you could charge a lot for that. So I was just like, oh, this is my space that I'm going to jump into and stay in because this is my lane. Yeah. And like here in Alaska, not a lot of people hand paint like that.
You know what's interesting? I think what you're talking about too is like, is it better to be a jack of all trades or a master at one thing?
A master at one thing for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I think I agree 100%. And it's interesting though, because like you can be successful at both. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, like, because you were successful when you were doing, colored acrylic. But I also think it's just about like, what do you want? What do you want from your business? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you want, and you're going to learn that stuff as you go.
Yeah, as you try new things.
Yeah.
Like, I do not like Gel X, but a lot of nail techs do like Gel X. So, like, figuring out, or, like, even polygel, figuring out, you have to try it to know if you like it or you don't like it.
Yeah. And I think, so there's this saying, I actually don't know what the saying says, but
what you mean?
There's like, when people be saying like you don't got to reinvent the wheel. You know what I'm saying? Like people do whatever you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't create a whole new like a whole new nail business. Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of nail businesses out there.
I think when I counted, there was like 28 nail salons in Anchorage.
Yeah, and so
I mean that's nothing compared to the rest of the world, but
yeah, but like what I guess my thing is like you have to run your own race. You know what I'm saying? And running your own race can mean a lot of different things, but for me, like I think it's easy to look at what other people do and say, you know what, I'm gonna do that. Right. But that may not be the most efficient and effective thing for you, but you won't know unless you try it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to.
We talked about this last week.
Y'all did?
Yeah. Like journey, how everybody.
Maybe I need to start listening to a podcast.
How everybody's journey, how everyone else's journey is not your journey. So
it's different, man. Run your own race. Like far too. So like, yeah, I'm about to hit on that because that's a gem, bro. Yeah. Way too often, everybody trying to see what everybody else is doing, and you're not everybody else.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Not true. But I was telling them like because I told them that we were talking about inspiration and creativity last week because I was struggling with it, and I'm reading that book. I can't even think of the name, but we were talking about how on Instagram like you can use the mute button. Like, if you're seeing too much of people and you want to, like, focus on you and focus on what you got going on, like, it's okay to use the mute button. You don't have to see their stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's a super simple thing that somebody can do when it's like, yo, I'm overwhelmed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And
it happens to everyone.
And I think for me, like, even in my space, like, of coaching and all of that, I have to do a better job of just running my own race. Sometimes I get caught up in, the coaching world. It's a toxic environment here in Alaska. So, but I think sometimes I get caught up in all that, and it really is just about running your own race and doing your own thing.
But you can still give flowers to those that, like, are doing it. Like, you don't have to.
Yeah, 100%. Like and by running your own race, like for me, like. I think it's just like not judging yourself, you know what I'm saying, and not being too hard on yourself, but and not feeling like you have to do everything that everybody else does.
Right.
It's okay it's okay that person does Gel X and then that person does acrylic and then that person does polygel, and it's okay for all of that. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like maybe that's just not your space, and maybe you could even be really, really good at it, man. Like maybe you're really, really good at Gel X, but you just hate doing Gel X.
Right.
Stop doing it if you don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess my thing is like nobody's trying to spend their life doing stuff that they hate. I mean, at least I'm not. That's how I am. So, yeah. Interesting.
Okay. Well, how'd you like being on the podcast?
No, it's dope. You know, I started podcasting a long time ago. I started podcasting like I don't even know when I started podcasting, but I just never stayed consistent with it. But podcasting has always been something that I really enjoy. So yeah. How'd you like me being on the podcast?
It was cool. I think these are conversations that like we'll have, but they won't be like recorded, and I feel like they need to be recorded to help.
Nah, facts.
These other people.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of
help Nail Tech Nation, not these other people.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of conversations that are like there's like hidden gems in there, and and we don't know. There's so much we don't know, y'all, and I don't want to be on here and giving that like idea that we know it all.
Oh, like, they know I do not know it all.
You know what I'm saying? We just like y'all, man. We trying to figure it out as we go, and but I think there are some things, and she's been able to accomplish some things that make it a little bit easier. Like there's information that we have that I think when you're that nail tech that is learning and you're building your systems and all of that stuff, like I think we have some knowledge that can help those people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
speaking of helping those people, first I want to say thank you for joining us on the Nail Tech Nation podcast.
Yeah, it was lit, man.
Second, I want to say if you are an aspiring nail tech or a nail tech and you are not a part of Nail Tech Nation, you can come into our community. There I send inspirational stuff. I send product recommendations. You guys help me figure out what episodes or what topics you want to hear on the podcast episodes. If you want to be in that community, go ahead and text Nail Nation. That's NAIL space Nation NATION to the number 442-237-5370. Again, that number is 442-237-5370. Go ahead and text Nail Nation to that number to get you locked into Nail Tech Nation, where we are here making the best nail techs better nail techs. You have anything to say? That's it?
Yeah, no, that's lit, man. I appreciate y'all letting me come on, and I mean, y'all tapped in with the right person. So,
all right, bye.
Peace.